Hello, my dears. Welcome to episode 3 of Create This Book. If you've joined me in the last episode, we did the introductory pages together and tackled the To Begin Create This Book checklist. And this week, our first prompt is create a fancy name. So my idea for this prompt was to write my name in hieroglyphics and give this entire page an ancient Egypt vibe. I did my sketches on paper that I aged with coffee to make it look like ancient papyrus. And I also ripped the edges a little bit after I did the sketch, so that was pretty scary. For the left side of the page, I did this sketch of jackal-headed god Anubis. It's one of my favorite Egyptian gods. I just love this look with the animal head. Basically all the gods that have animal heads are super cool. I wanted the colors to look really vibrant and opaque, so I used my trusty Artix liquid ink markers for that. At this point, I'd like to show you another little project that I did some time ago. I had this spare empty notepad, and I just turned it into a little booklet featuring all the main Egyptian deities. For each god or goddess, I did a little drawing, the name in hieroglyphics, and some general facts. Okay, but now back to our Create This Book. What you see me drawing here is a so-called cartouche. In ancient Egypt, royal names, or more specifically the pharaoh's names, were always written in a cartouche. Of course, I'm not royal or anything, but still I use the cartouche because it looks super cool. My name consists of 5 letters, so I wrote down 5 hieroglyphics to spell out my name. I know that this is not 100% accurate because ancient Egyptians didn't write out vowels, they only used consonants. But to make it easier for us, we can use consonants that sound a bit similar to a vowel and just use this consonant to represent the vowel. For example, the second character, the chick, actually is a sound close to W, but in this case I used it to represent the U. The idea to write my name in hieroglyphics came from a travel souvenir. I was in Egypt a few years ago and went to the Papyrus Museum in Luxor. And there you could buy a sheet of papyrus with some beautiful illustrations and an empty cartouche on it, and then they would write your full name in hieroglyphics in the cartouche. So back to the book. I will also give this page some nice colorful background with liquid ink markers. And I will give the prompt text the look of a separate sheet of lined journal paper. I will do that throughout the entire book with all the prompt texts. So let's glue everything in. I left some blank space on the right side. You will find out later what this is for. The next prompt is to create a rule. Make a rule for yourself and follow it on each page of this book. Write your rule in the box provided. For this prompt, I found inspiration in one of my favorite books, The 13.5 Lives of Captain Bluebear by German author Walter Moers. The story is set on the fictional continent of Samonia. And at some point in the book, our hero Bluebear visits the so-called night school, where he is taught by an Aidid. I will tell you more about these curious creatures later, but now just give you some information for context. Aidids are extremely intelligent, and their intelligence grows with darkness. That's why they, for example, research how to even intensify and concentrate darkness. The slogan of the school is "Knowledge is Night." So this is a little pun referring to knowledge is might or power. His students are Bluebear himself, a jelly prince from another dimension, and an alpine goblin. So I did some sketches for the teacher and the students. Now let's outline everything and add color. In case you are wondering, yes, the alpine goblin is sticking her finger into Bluebear's ear. She loved to do that, but honestly, I can't remember the exact reason for that. Here I got some furry visitor. Here I'm touching up the jelly prints with some colored pencils. Well, someone needs attention here. So, to the backstory of this jelly prince, he is from a dimension where there are many, many carpets. And he tripped over a carpet and fell into a dimensional hole, and then flew through space and ended up in our dimension in Zamonia. So yeah, it's a really crazy book, but I love it so, so much. I can really recommend. It has been translated into English as well, so maybe you like to try and give it a read yourself. Okay, after giving the page some colorful background and coloring in the letters, it was time to glue in our night school teacher and students. And of course, we must not forget the actual task of this page to create a rule. So I set myself the rule to write a fun, cool, or fascinating fact on each page of this book. Remember, knowledge is night. I also added the original quote in German, Wissen ist Nacht, which translates to knowledge is night. Okay, then let's apply the rule on this page already and write down some facts about Aidids. Aidids are the most intelligent species on the fictional continent of Zamonia. They have up to 7 brains and an IQ of up to 4,000 in normal light. However, their intelligence increases endlessly with darkness, hence their slogan, knowledge is night. They are the only known species capable of bacterially infecting others with intelligence. Gluing the fact in the book, and with that, the page is done. Now let's go back to the pages we have already done and add some facts there too. For the title page, I wanted some cool fact on UFOs or aliens. So here is some cool fact that I found. The Oz factor is a descriptive term for suddenly feeling isolated or displaced into a reality that is almost like our own, but subtly wrong. Such sensations are commonly reported as a prelude to UFO-related or paranormal experiences such as alien abductions. Next is some fact about cats and empty boxes that I found. Cats get comfort and security from enclosed spaces, which is why they love spending time in cardboard boxes. Research indicates that cats given empty boxes are more interactive, friendly, and comfortable with the people around them compared to those without a box. I then decided to also add some kitty doodles around the copyright text. I skipped the tips and tricks page because, it doesn't have a real prompt, and also there is no more space left for a fun fact. And on the To Begin Create This Book page, I added the beginning date and a fact about the moon. The moon was probably created by a collision of the early Earth with a Mars-sized protoplanet named Theia. Okay, last but not least, let's add a fact to the hieroglyphics page. Egyptian hieroglyphs could be written from top to bottom or in both directions, left to right or right to left. The reading direction can be worked out by checking which way the animal or bird symbols are facing, as figures always face the start of the text. For example, if they face left, then you need to read from left to right. Finally, adding some Egyptian doodles to the prompt text. And with that, we are already done for this week. Here's a little recap of the new pages. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I really hope to see you next time. Bye!